Okay, good morning everyone. So today we are going to the last chapter of this semester about the animation part. Before that, we have already go through how to make model inside Blender and apply different type of material and using rigging and skeleton to binding the model and the skeleton so that we can use in the controller and the skeleton to control the pose and the positions of the model. So now we are going to the last chapter about animation setting. So the tutorial for today is about how to set the animation inside Blender. Let's take a look. On the bottom part we have this one, the timeline. So this one is the basic setting about the animation. So as far as you can see, when we slide the icon right here, the number right here, the time number will change. But what's that mean? So before that, before we explain, we have to set up some setting about our Blender. So first thing, don't forget to turn on your shortcut viewer so that you can see your operations. And I'm going to split the window into two sections. And one is the 3D viewer, and another one I want to go to top sheet. Okay, that's the thing we are going to use. And inside shade, actually it's pretty similar to the timeline, but we can see some more detailed information on the right side on the summary. And also we need to do some setting about the animation. So let's go to the printer and also the camera part. Let's do some setting. So for sure, in order to make nice rendering effect, we need to go to the render setting right here, the render property. Turn on ambient occlusions and bloom, and also screen space reflection. I think that's the things we already knew. Ambient occlusion, it will strengthen the shadow. And the bloom, it will create that kind of glowing effect. And the screen space reflections, it will help you to have the transparency of the glass. Okay, so now let's go to the output property. Right here, you can see the size of your render image. Okay, this part is about the render quality, and this part is about the render output. So you can change this one. Right now is around, I think it's around 1K size, and we can stay like this. Or if you want to have more, usually I think inside Blender, if we using Eevee for rendering, right here right now we are using Eevee render engines. It's pretty fast. It's an instant, very quick way for rendering. But if you choose a cycle, probably it will take using a lot of time for render, but the quality will be way more realistic. So for Eevee, you can choose in probably even larger. And for my case, I tried to do 3K or 4K size for rendering before. And here is the most important part about the FPS, which means the frame rate, okay, the frame rate. So what's the meaning of frame rate? Which means for now, right now, are usually for the industrial standard for animation or for movie, we are using around 30 FPS or 24 FPS. That's something very common things. And for gaming, if you would like to play that kind of God of War or maybe something like the Elden Ring, this type of triple A games, they will go even more, maybe 60 FPS. But animation and the game is a little bit different. Game was something dynamic and instantly rendered, and for animation, it was just, pre-render. We will render and export as video so that we will see the video in the final as a final output. But for the game, they will render immediately, so it will be a little bit different. But anyway, right now the standard criteria is 24 or 30. So as far as you can see, sometimes we will see this one. It's very similar, but usually we will just using 30 or 29.97. And 24 is also very common to see. And for this kind of number, it's very rare to see that in animations. Okay, so very important. Usually we are choosing 24, 29.97, or 30. Okay, And about the frame range, okay, the frame range. Right now there are 250 frames inside your time slider. So which means it will have around 10 seconds, okay? Because every 24 frames like this, let's type in here 24. This is 1 second. So for the entire timeline, it will be around 10 seconds. Okay, and if you just type in 240, it will be 10 seconds. Okay, and if you type in 480 and 80, it will be around 20 seconds. So it's up to you. You can do your own setting, but I will bring this one back. Alright, so you have to define that before you start to make your animations. Okay, how long is your animation? Define right here, and then you can do your stuff. Okay, and right here is the time slider, and also or we can call this one timeline. As far as you can see, once you play your space bar, it will start to play. Okay, but right now we don't have any kind of, if we press again it will pause, but right now because we haven't seen any animation, so it won't change. And click here, you can go back to the very beginning. Click this part, it will go to the end, and this part we will explain later. Alright, so once you finish this one, very important thing, before you do the render for the animation, you must save the output folder for your animation. Otherwise, for example, right now you are just saved in nowhere in your C disk. Probably you will miss your file. Okay, that's something very important to know. And also for the rendering image, usually if you just want to directly render the video, you can just choose in FFmpeg video. So the file format will be MP4. But usually, for the professional animators, we will render every frame as a PNG file, and then recompose them in Premiere or After Effects, the software for editing video, so that the quality will be better. But actually, if you don't care that much, I think FFmpeg video, it will be fine. Okay? But I will still like this. So which means if you choose in PNG file format, the rendering output will be a bunch of image. For this one is 20. We have 250 frames, which means you will have 250 frames image inside the folder, and we have to combine them as a new video. So that's how it works. Okay, so right here you can choose PNG file or FFmpeg video, which means MP4 format. And don't forget to set the location of your final output. Alright, so how to set animations? Let's take a look. First thing we need to know, animation actually is always about it's just about transformation between different time. So for example, right now the first one is that about the model animations. Right here we have this cube. Let's use this cube as a reference. For now, I want to, for the first frame right here, I want this cube stay here. So you can press I, and it will turn on insert keyframe menu, and you can choose. Right, usually I would just directly choose in location, rotation, and scale, which means that the Blender will record these three information inside this timeline on the frame one. So if you choose this one, location, rotation, and scale. Right now you will see that it will show up on the top sheet, and also if you go down, go to the summary cube, which means this is the animation key for the cube, and there is some detailed information as far as you can see about location and rotation and scale. Okay, and also here it will come out the little yellow dot right here. Alright, so let's go to probably 20 seconds. And let's try to move. Let's press G and Y, moving, G and Z, moving, and also R and X for rotation in maybe 360 degree. Okay, and scale down, scale up. Okay, and once we settle down, let's press I and location and rotation, so that we have set a new key right here, and you will see that right here. Okay, and if we turn on this one, okay, you will see the different key on the top sheet. And if there is a continuous yellow line in between these two dots, which means for the X location, we didn't change anything about this part. And for the Y euler rotations or Z euler rotation, we didn't change that. But for the rest of the part, we have already changed. So if you scroll down, you will see like this, okay? You will see the you will see the parameter like this, okay? And let's take a look. Inside the top sheet, we can do the same things just like what we did inside Blender modeling or rigging or material setting. So for example, let's choosing the key frame right here. You can press Shift D for copy and move them to 40 part. And also you can duplicate this part and do the same things again. Alright, just like this. So we can actually we can just directly choose these two, press Shift D. Okay, so that if we just copy everything and move this on here, okay, and go to the very beginning and press spacebar or just click play, you will see that here is your animations. Okay, and if you think it's not quickly enough, we can also use in scale. For example, select all of them, press S key, and you are using your time slider, this one as the center. So I will move this one in the beginning and press S key for scale down. And I will choose this one. Press Shift D again. Go to the very beginning, press spacebar. Just like this. Okay? And for sure, if you don't like some part, you can just select them and delete. But inside here, the rotation doesn't work, okay? Because the rotation cannot be done inside this top sheet. We don't need that, okay? So you can just use in this way to do basic animations. Alright, so that's about the basic animation using location, rotation, and scale. And another way for making animation is that we can go to the geometry, select the geometry, go to the object data property, and I think we have already used this one before. It's about shape key. So which means we can record the geometry of this object. Let's go back to the very beginning and click here, plus icon, and create a basic geometry for this cube. And then create another one. When go to this object, press Tab key or go to the edit mode and start to editing the geometries right here. So we can do things like this and press Tab key again. It will go back. So now you can just directly use in this way to do the animations. So for example, if I choose this box and I would I want to make a key for the shape key. How can we do that? Let's select the box and go to the value, click here. It will become yellow. And then go to this part, the second key, and I will change that one to 1. And don't forget to set key again. Okay? And if you want to go to the next keyframe, you can just click here, jump to the keyframe. So it will automatically move your slider to the next keyframe. Alright, so for this one, I wanna do that again. So right now, if you take a summary under the top sheet, there will be a key, and this is about the keyframe of the cube. Okay, so all the keyframe is under the cubed object, and here is the information about the key. So I will just quickly do that. This one is enlarged and this one smaller. This one enlarged again, so I will make another one. For sure, you can just do the copy stop, just like here. Okay, it will be way more faster. Right here, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, select everything. Go here, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Go here, Ctrl C, Ctrl V. Right now there is something wrong here, but it doesn't matter. I will just keep it like this. I will ignore the rest part, okay? So let's play. Okay, so that's the animation, and for sure, while you are working, you still can rotate. Alright, so that's about the keyframe. Alright, so this is about the basic model keyframe. And if you remember, we have already the skeletons, and we can use in the skeleton to set pose and also set different action for the model. So just using the skeleton, and once we finish the pose, and we can set a keyframe on a certain timing, and then go back and set another different pose. So that's how we make animation inside Blender. Okay, very simple. Alright, so I will delete all the things right here and go back to the beginning and delete. Alright, so this is about how to make animation for the model. So the second part is about setting an animation of the light. I use these things very often because sometimes I want to change the strength of the lighting, the intensity of the lighting, and also I can use this way to create some effect like sunset or sunrise. So I really like this way. Alright, so before we do that, we need to do some setting about our animation. So about our model scene. So let's press Shift A, create a plan, enlarge this one, press S key, and move this one down. Go to the front view, press G and Z, move this one down, and go to Edit mode, select the edge right here, press E and Z for extrusions, select the edge right here, Ctrl B for bevel, and increase the number. Okay, I want to set a background. Probably can be larger, press S and X. Okay, so now let's go to the render mode. Okay, so right now we have the light right here, and let's click this one, and this is a point light. Actually, I prefer using area lighting, and this one will be way more smooth, and also I think the effect will be better. Okay, so let's enlarge this one. You can press S for enlarge, and the result will be a little bit different. Okay, so let's take a look. Maybe smaller, too large. Right, so now we have the shading like this. So how can we do the animations for the light? So for sure, first things, for the animations of the light, let's move a little bit, go to the front view, and move a little bit R and Y for rotations. Okay, just like this. So for sure, first things, we still can set keyframe for the light. So for example, let's press I and insert location, rotation, and scale. So now we have the basic geometry information of the light. Okay, of this one. As far as you can see, it came out here. And in the end of the frame, I want to create another one. So let's move and go to the front view, rotate in Y directions, right here. Okay, and move more far away, just like this, and press insert, location and rotations. So now we have this one. Okay, so that's about the position of the light. And next things, for sure, we still can add some information in this property. So let's go back to the very beginning. Right now I want to do the lighting. The beginning light, I want this one could be yellow color. So let's switch to yellow color right here. Okay, and the intensity could be maybe weaker. So maybe just type in 600 GW. So that's the beginning. And once you set it down, don't forget to click animated property. So right now, as far as you can see, if you click here, there is a keyframe for the color and the power. Okay, right here. So, and in the end part, I want to do another one. And once you change the time slider, and the color here will become green color, which means that you have set keyed for this parameter before. But for now, in this time, we don't have any key right here. So on this side, I want the light could be stronger, maybe 1000, and the light could be maybe something like blue color. Okay, and click again. Okay, so now we can play the animations. Let's press space key, and you will gradually transform from the original color to a different color, just like this. Okay, so that's how it works. Alright, but what if I don't want this keyframe anymore? If I don't want this keyframe anymore, how can we do that? First thing is for sure you can just go here. For example, I don't want the power key anymore. I want this one stay in 1000, or I just don't want this part. You can just go to the summary and find the object which you set key for that. Find the object and then select the parameter, the key of the parameters, and delete that one. Okay, so that delete this one, so it will become empty again. Okay, as far as you can see, it become gray color again. There's no parameter inside anymore. Or another one is that you can right click here and just delete keyframe, and you will clean up the keyframe for your model. Alright, I will undo that. So first way is that just go to summary, double sheet, and delete the keyframe. Second way is that right click on the parameter and choosing delete keyframe, and both of them can work. Alright, so that's the two things we can do in the light. Alright, so let's go to the final part about the path animations. Usually we will using path animation in probably something like control the camera or control the linear lighting. For example, we have set a trail. We have set a trail for the sun. We want the sun follow the trail we have set for him, and then make it move. So we can use in trail and path animation. Alright, so there are two different ways for making path animation. And if you remember, we have do this kind of thing before. Let's press Shift A, go to curve, and create a circle. Press S key, enlarge this one. Control A for apply all transform. Okay, and I will duplicate. I will duplicate the cube. Shift D for copy and hide the first one. All right. So inside this cube, I think we have using modifier before. We're using the curve modifier and the curve object, choosing this one. Okay, and using this one to do the animation, to do the copy stuff. Okay, I think that's the things we have done before, and this time it's pretty much similar. But let's close this one. This time the things we are going to do is very similar to the things we did when we are working on the trail and the track of the train. So let's choosing this cube and choosing the curve, Control P, and Right now, because we're using the path as a parent object, so we have this option, follow path. Okay, and let's move the cube to the border of, and let's go to the curve setting. Under the curve setting, you will see there's a curve path animations. So if you play, this cube will follow your curve to move. Alright, so that's the simplest way to do the path animations. Just make them become parent relationship. And what's that mean? If I want, what's that mean frames 100? Which means when we get here, okay, when we get here, you will just finish one round, okay, finish the pass. So if you want to go more, even more faster, so that we can decrease the number right here, 50. So it will become way more faster. If you want even more, we can just type in maybe 15. So it will become super faster. And if you just type in 250, well, it will become very slow, and when we finish the animation, it will finish one round. So that's the first way for creating animations. Alright, so now we're choosing here, Auto P, clear parent relationship, and move this one back. Auto G, Auto R, and Auto S. Bring this one back. Another way for making animation is that we can using constrainers right here. Object constraint property. Well, we will use this one when we are going to set skeletons, because for skeleton it's a basic controller, and we can apply some advanced controller to control the skeletons. Just like the IK-bone, it's about a skeleton, but that's the IK-bone controller constrainer is for skeleton, so the icon will be a little bit different, and this one is for model. Okay, so let's go to here and choosing this one we are going to use is follow path. And don't forget, right now the constraint is on the cube object, and for the path animation is under the path property. It's a little bit different. Alright, so now let's go to the cube, go to constraint, and here for the follow path we can see there is a target, so let's choose in the target left curve here. So right now we can click here, animate pace, and if you click play, it will start to move. Alright, so basically it will be very similar to the things we've done before. And also you can use in follow curve. Okay, follow curve will make your face, for example, like this part, it will always face the normal direction of the curve. So let's take a look. As far as you can see, it will rotate the face based on the directions and the degree of the curve. And if we turn off that one, nothing change actually, but if we're using another model, you will see the difference. Sorry, we didn't turn on. Let's redo that again. Let's turn off this one. As far as you can see, if you didn't turn on the follow path, it will just stay in the original positions. But if you click, it will face the normal direction of the curve. That's the major difference. And if you click here, let's go back and choosing negative y, or maybe negative x, I guess. Negative x, try to do that. Oh, didn't change. Where the x is, I think it's negative, yeah, negative y. Alright, sorry for that. For where x is right now is x directions, and actually it's when we change the directions, it's supposed to change the moving direction, so it will become negative. Okay, but anyway, probably for now, because we are playing an animation, so it cannot respond to us immediately. Alright, so why are we using this way? Because just for example, like our train, basically you have different kind of trunk. So for example, when we are working on this animation, we have already settled down the follow path animation. We can directly copy another one and make this one move as well, right? So that's the things we can do using this way to make a train animations. Okay, so basically that's about the path animation, and for sure it's not only about modeling. We can set the animation also for your light and your camera, and usually this kind of setting is just like when we are making a real movie. When we are using control the camera, we will call this one dolly. We use the dolly camera movement to make the camera go follow the track and move as the setting we want. So you can create a very continuous camera movement inside for the movie. Alright, so that's the things. Basically, if you know how to make how to create a video or how to make a nice movie video, you will see that actually the things we did inside animation software is pretty much similar to the real movie maker. Alright? Okay, so that's all about the basic setting of animations. Okay, first one, modeling. Second one, lighting. And the final one about animation path. Actually, there is one thing we missed, but I think we have already said that one, show you how to do that before. Let's split our window into two sections again. And let's go to the shade editor. Alright? We can also do the animation for the shade editor as well. So for example, let's go back to the very beginning. And this time I want to create probably some material for that. So maybe noise textures. Wave textures. Yeah, let's using wave textures. And color. Color ramp. Alright, so let's using the web texture and assign the texture animation for this cube. And connect this one to mix color. Mix RGB right here. And connect the vector to vector and change the color here. Probably like red color and blue color. Connect this one to color. Alright, just like this. And let's take a look of the result. Right now it was just very simple linear color, so I want to change here distortions and maybe make this one brighter, and also change the light so that you can see, maybe into 3000. Alright, and also for the pattern, actually we can change right here, just change the scale, or maybe into maybe 0.5. How is that? Alright, good. How about that? Okay, cool. So this is the okay, and increase the detail. Alright, so for the material, all the things we have right here, actually we can do the animation for them. So for example, for the things I want to do, for sure is about the distortions. So right here under the distortions part, right now is type in 14 and press insert, and it will become the first key. And right here on the 255, I wanna maybe go to 400. Oh, maybe too much. Sorry for that. 40 or alright, let's do that in 100, and I think this one could be 10. And insert the key again. And 170, insert the key again. Type in 40, and don't forget to press I for insert the key. And for the end, let's make this one even more crazy, maybe 100. Okay, and insert the key. So now we have to save the key for the pattern. And also we can save the key right here. So probably at the very beginning the material was 0. So insert the key, and in the end it becomes 1, and insert the key. So let's play the animations and take a look. Okay, you can see that the pattern was moving and also the reflection was changed. Alright, let's take a look. Very close up view. Alright, it was moving and changed. So that's about how we can do with the material, and actually for sure there are so many different options, and all of them you can do the animation for them. If you don't want, just right click and clear the keyframe, or go to the summary here, and you can increase the size or reduce the size of the preview frame, and you can just click here and delete them. So that's about how you can manipulate of the keyframe for the material. Alright, so the last part probably we have already tried to do that before, but we didn't explain very specifically. So this time I try to explain everything for you. So that's the first, the basic animation introduction for you guys. So next time we are going to do the animation for our model scenes. See you next time. Don't forget to save your file.